Hello everybody, welcome back to the Electricity's Hub. I'm your host, Robert Jones. Today we're going to be taking a look at the last group of figures that I already had, and it's going to be the second smallest. Kind of tone it back down. It is the Maximals that I own. Yeah, there's only a few of them, but still a sizable enough group to where I didn't want to include them with all the Autobots, because that would have made that video way more difficult to do. Either way, hopefully you enjoy the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and leave it running in the background even if you don't watch it all the way through, because that would help me a lot. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
I made this video a while ago, so it's got the old style intro.
Alright, now we are getting to the Maximals, and I'm moving my chair a little bit because it was scooted way back. We'll start with the War for Cybertron Netflix series Kingdom Cheetor. It's pretty generic for a Cheetor. Like, it's pretty good. I do really like how flexible and skinny it is, and you'll see later on that there are Cheetors out there that are not like that. But like, he's got a lot going for him flexibility-wise. He can move his arms all the way out like this. I guess the cat legs for the front set, and then like the back ones are actually his robot mode legs, so they can move all over the place. And like the paws are all articulated. The tail can't move at all because it's just a solid piece of plastic. And then like, because of the way it transforms, which is kind of hilarious to say for this, the mouth opens. And you'll see what I mean later on. The head doesn't move at all though, which is unfortunate. The only thing I really don't like about this figure is the random bits of blue that show up, which I get that's like Cheetor's colors is yellow and blue, but just having it randomly here is weird. And then I don't like how bright and opaque the yellow is. And I'll show you the one that I do like the yellow for next, which is the Walmart exclusive re-release of the original Beast Wars figures. That's the rest of the Maximals that I have, is those re-releases. And I got the Cheetor, and I love, like, there's not much of a difference that you can see on camera. I like the slightly darker and more vibrant yellow. And I do think, aside from the obvious bits where it's like the gun here, or the back of the legs, it hides the blue a little bit better. And of course, the articulation in this is absolute garbage. But that's because it's a re-release of a character of a figure from 30 years ago. So, like, the articulation is going to be a bit dated. These arms don't really, or the front legs don't move at all. The head, it moves a little bit, but only because of the way it transforms. And then the back legs have articulation, because again, just like this one, they are the robot mode legs. And then the tail on this one actually can move a little bit because of the way it works. And then we get to a character that never appeared on the screen. But again, it's another one of the Walmart re-releases. And this character is named Wolf Fang. And again, it's a very dated design. It's, like... And he's probably one of the crappier deluxes from it, too. Doesn't really move at all. This is, like, the most articulation you're going to get out of his legs. And these ones don't really move at all. And like, you can see the robot mode hands just chilling right there. What I will give this character though is I love like the detail in the face and how it all kind of looks from like the top, because aside from the robot mode feet sticking out here, you can't really see a whole lot of the robot mode when you're looking at it from the top. But that's about it for him. Like, that's all he's got. And then you get the last Maximal I have, which is the nicest one, Optimus Primal. And again, he's like the leader class. I have to do this so you can see him a bit better. He's like a leader class scale, and he's just crazy looking. He's actually, obviously because he's got like the same robot mode arms and legs, very well articulated for something from his time period. His legs can even go out to there, and he doesn't have anything crazy like ankle anything. or like wrist anything, but his arms move at the bicep. He's got that. And he's actually got this cool little gimmick where this, and then you move like you have that set properly, and it's supposed to move them a little bit. Like, I can never get it to work properly. Again, it's like a 30-year-old mechanism styled thing, and this is a figure I played with a lot, so I may have just straight up broken it already without even realizing it. And then one of the gimmicks that he has in his robot mode still works in his beast mode, which is if you press this, he's got cannons that flip up, and they've got spring-loaded the swords fell out. I'm just gonna set those to the side and he can have them back later. Since it's a 30-year-old design, it's actually spring-loaded, which is crazy. Like, you don't get that in this day and age. Having spring-loaded cannons. How does this go in? There we go. We're gonna fold those back up. You don't really have spring-loaded anything in this day and age, which is a shame because that makes it so much more fun. But yeah, and they all like scale together pretty good because they're all from the same line. And then the Kingdom Cheetor is about the same size, although it's a lot skinnier than this Cheetor. And like, same character I've been using for these size comparisons is the Voyager class Battle Damage Studio Series 86 Ironhide. Look how much bigger the monkey is. And like the wolf, like these are not to scale, but that makes sense. Because this is a van robot that when in robot mode is like the same size as Cat Robot. So, yeah. And that's really it for the beast modes for the Maximals. They have great articulation. But I'm not great at posing. I'm probably not even going to do a whole lot of posing for any of these until I get better at it, which won't be for a long time probably. But yeah, so now I just got to transform them all. Here we go. Alright, so starting out for the transformations, we're going to start with the Kingdom Cheetor, and I'm going to move the mic, or the camera back in. First step you do for him is you rip his tail off. And it likes to get stuck, but you just got to pull it out. It's just stuck in there as a peg. And that's that for the tail. And then the rest of it's pretty simple. You're going to straighten out the legs here, and then fold up the cat legs, and at the back you'll see the robot legs kind of pop out. You're just going to fold them down and do the same on the other side here. And just like that. And then you're going to kind of wedge your fingers in here and split this open. Just like this. And then you can fiddle with the legs. I like to put them down like this. You can detach the hands and arms from the shoulder bits, and then you're going to open the Cheetah Mode's mouth and move it down here so that the back of the mouth slots into that peg right there. And that's why it's got to open. And then you're going to flip his head around. And there you've got him in robot mode. And you'll take the tail end and you'll give it to him, and it's like this scythe weapon type thing. And yeah, he's got great articulation. Because of the way it works, the shoulders can't move back at all, but they've got the butterfly joints from the transformation, so they can move forward about that far. And then they can move up about that far again because they're restricted by this, but if you move the shoulder forward, he can go up that far. He can go out all the way. He's got bicep rotation, wrist rotation, and yeah, and let's put his, come on, there we go. And then his legs go out to about there, they move out to there, they don't move back at all, I guess. You've got the knee almost 90, and then you've got, because of the transformation, the ankle goes like that, and then it's got pivot, which is really cool. And then the head, because of transformation, and like most of them, it's on a ball joint. But you can also just straight up like have him look way up. You can't really look down at all. But yeah, and that's Cheetor. And then setting him to the side, we'll get the other Cheetor, which these older ones are very, very easy. So like, don't expect anything crazy out of it. First thing you're going to do is rip out his gut, and then rip off his tail, and just set those to the side. And then you're going to do the same thing as with the Kingdom one, and straighten out the feet, except instead of like folding them back or something, they're going to stay like that, and you're just going to undo the heels that just fold up in there. And then the next thing you're going to do is twist it around. And you're going to just shove these forward. I guess they technically move a little bit. And then that's what he looks like. You're going to then open up the skirt. And this is actually the first time it's gone like as far down as it's supposed to go. It's supposed to kind of just sit there. Mine used, I don't know why, but it would always only go about that far until now, which is excellent for the purposes of the video. And then the arms will unfold like that, and so like that. Same for the other side. And then the cat head will come around and completely spin, and then it'll just sit there. Like that's it. And then you'll turn his head around, and then he's got two weapons this time. He's got the gut gun, and then for the tail, if you fold this part back, that's why it moved a little bit, you've got his other gun. And these look cool. The gut gun, I'm not actually going to do it, but if you put it in water and then press this and then hold, it will inflate and have water in there, and it's like a little squirt gun. So that's cool. But taking these out so I can show you the articulation, one thing about this figure is if you're got him standing straight up, the head barely looks over, but he does have this really cool battle mask type thing that was on his figure and got reused as a head for other figures. He's got like this bug-like battle mask that's just really crazy looking. You can see like his head sculpt is vastly different from a lot of modern Cheetors. Like bringing back the Kingdom version, it's very like he's got like the Chad face from memes. This one actually looks like Cheetor did in the cartoon. But anyways, for articulation, he's actually got a surprising amount considering how old the figure is. The chest part obviously moves. The arms are the shoulders are on a ball joint, so they can move in just about any which way. The only way they can go up and down though is where you see this little part right here. So that is that, and then he's got, because of the way he transforms, an elbow joint that goes all the way. And then he doesn't have anything for his wrists, but that's still kind of nuts that he can go that far for a figure with this dated set of articulation. And then for legs, they can kick out that far, they can kick back that far, and they can kick out, moving the legs out of the way, all the way out that far. Again, crazy articulation for such an old figure. And then for knee bend, he can't bend his knees the right way, but he can bend his knees this way, and that's because of the way he transforms. And nothing in the ankles or anything like that, just like for the beast mode. But yeah, so he's like very stable, a very reliable figure. Very, like, it's crazy how much articulation you can get out of this figure that has the same design as it did 30 years ago. I mean, articulation has not come as far as a lot of people think, I don't think. Then, we'll get to Wolffang. He is a brick. There's no nicer way to say it. You'll literally take his back off, and I love that silver paint every time you see it, and then you'll rip off his tail. And you'll just let those sit there. And then you split his head down the middle, and that reveals the robot mode head. And I love the way it looks, hate the way it transforms, because you have to force the wolf heads to go around like that. And of course, just like Cheetor, you're gonna, well, unlike Cheetor, first you're going to put the robot mode feet down right under the wolf feet, and then you're gonna extend like that, so the wolf feet are resting on top of the robot feet. I do really like that design choice. It looks really cool. And you're gonna do the same on the other side. And then you're gonna look at him and be like, hey, why is that gap in the middle? Well, we'll get there in a second. First, next thing you're gonna do is you're going to untab the wolf leg from the wolf shoulder, I guess. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then you're going to fold this part down, and it forms like a hip skirt. And it's really cool. But you're going to want to undo this. And you're like, well, that just makes the random bit there look crazier. It just shoots down, and he just becomes short. And then you can fix the skirts, and then undo the butterfly joints that are there for the shoulders, because again, this guy's got some crazy articulation if it weren't for the fact that the wolf head's like getting in the way, and the wolf arms don't move around that much. And that's it. He's got the tail, which has a peg that you fold down out of the back, and it forms a gun. But it's not like any gun, it's like a harpoon-style gun. He comes with 2 of these. And again, because it's like an 80s, 90s toy, it's got that spring-loaded gun mechanism. So it fires. And then the back part of the wolf, you actually will flip this around in the middle, and it will reveal like a handle. And you're going to undo that and flip it around. And that's why it's silver on the inside. It's because he's got a shield. And it looks really cool. And then his head, one thing I don't like about it is look at the amount of chin this guy has. He has so much chin that it goes out horizontally. That can really be fixed if you flip down the battle mask, which makes him look like he's cosplaying Batman. But it hides the chin. Articulation-wise, again, he's got some crazy articulation. I don't know if the Walmart re-release is actually, like, just fixed articulation for a lot of these. But, like, he's got full range of motion, as long as you move stuff out of the way, that is. Like, the arms can go up that all the way, but the leg up here and the wolf head clash and get in the way. So you have to move, you have to maneuver it all, and it makes him a pain. And he doesn't have like a actually he does have bicep rotation. That's neat. I just figured that out. The issue I've had the most with this figure is the little friction pins, or whatever they're called, that the elbow joint is, because watch, it just pops off. Like, it happens to me so many times on accident, I'm not even feeling bad about just pulling it off. But it does give him a lot of arm bend. Again, things get in the way, but he can go all the way to his upper arm. And then, like, his head is on a ball joint, but it's in a place that it doesn't allow it to go up or down, like, at all. So it's not amazing. So he's not great. He also is really hollow. Like, look at the inside of his calves there. Those are the most hollow things ever. But, last but not least, is the amazingly simple but also amazing looking Optimus Primal. And this guy, aside from the swords that fell out earlier, and the cannons that we'll get to look at a bit more, has some of the craziest weapon storage. But first, for the transformation, what we're going to do is extend the legs out so he's not like in the gorilla sit hunched over position. And you're going to fold in the monkey feet so it's like the back of his foot. And you're going to twist it around, and it'll, just like in the cartoon, I remember seeing that and being wowed. And then you'll flip down the robot mode feet, and I love the way that the hydraulics kind of go down with it, because of the way they're pinned on. That just always looks really cool to me. and then you'll move the arms down and put them in whatever position you'll like. And the gimmick gets in the way of the articulation a lot. And they just stay as monkey hands. Then you take his monkey face, pull it down, and while you do that, flip this piece so it reveals the robot mode chest, and it should pop into place right here and kind of just sit there. And then you'll ask, that's not Optimus Primal's face. Well, he's got a battle mask too, because that was like apparently a massive thing that they did back in whenever these figures originally came out. His, though, is on like a joint around his neck, so it can move around his face. I usually just keep it behind his head. And then there's Optimus Primal with his other battle mask. The Optimus Prime inspired one. And in addition to his swords and the over-the-shoulder cannons, which are excellent, he also stores extra missiles right behind his neck. Like, you can't see it very well. Let me turn on the light on this camera. They're right there. And I'm going to turn it off because that makes the quality horrible. And you kind of just flip them upside down and they fall right out. I'm going to keep them in there, though. I'm going to keep one of them in there because the other one is going to be relevant to this. You'll take his fist. There's going to be a little notch right here. And you're going to press down on it. And it's going to have a spring-loaded, hand gets just shoved back here, cannon. And you can put the missile pieces in there and fire them out, if I can remember the button. There we go. And you can put that back in the back of his head. And then you can just close it back up like that. And then the other wrist, if you see, there's a couple tabs like right here on either side, and you just pull those open. And then he's got like this skull mace looking thing that you just pull on out of his forearm, of his wrist, and you kind of just shake it open. Maybe. There it is. And it's literally just a skull with spikes on it on a string connected to something he can hold. And it can do all the usual, you know, fling it around stuff. I don't mess with it too much because I like the way the swords look more. But it's there. Like, this guy is crazy in the, like, add-on department, accessory department. This thing is a bit of a pain to get back in here. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, yeah, I forgot to, for the transformation, actually do that. Flip out the shoulder pauldrons. There's like a tab in the back here that holds them in place. And then he's also got his swords from the cartoon. And they're there. And they do go, if we flip this back out, they tab in right here. But they don't like to stay in there, like when they fell out earlier. But this guy is very well put together. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint that can move with the battle mask. He's obviously got cannons. His arms can move all the way out that far. Full 360. It's got some butterfly, or some ratchet joints there. The bicep rotation is ratcheted. It's got elbow bend that can go that far. It doesn't have any wrist thing at all, and it doesn't have anything in the ankle. But the knees, because of the transformation, can go a little bit more than 90. Out that far. Back that far. It kind of has to go around this unless you have... Actually, yeah, unless you have the cannons opened, in which then it can go straight back. And then out this far. And it's a crazy amount of articulation. But yeah, and then for some comparisons, we'll line them all up next to each other. And I don't think I'm going to do that many comparisons with them because they just kind of fit nicely with each other. Like, all the ones that I have except Primal are deluxe class, so they're like half his height. Except for the newer Cheetor. Actually, no, he is. Despite being super lanky. For a second I thought because of how lanky he was, he would be a bit taller, but he's actually like a couple centimeters shorter than the other Cheetor, despite being a lot less chunky. But yeah, so that's the Maximals, and they fit very nicely with each other. Yeah, that's about it. I might fit some posing in here like I do with the others. If I did with the others, I'm actually just getting all this recording out of the way right now. And yeah, I don't know if I did articulate or I did posing with them yet. So we'll have to see. Get Wolf Fang out of there and just get Cheetor and Big Bot. And yeah, thanks for watching.